Welcome to the most practical class on Retell Lecture. Why Retell Lecture matters to a test taker of PTE Academic. Number one, it gives you 12 marks in speaking and it gives you 12 marks in listening. So you have dual advantage. Your score in speaking and listening depends on your performance in this task. On the exam day, you get minimum 2 questions from this, maximum 3 questions from this. So let's see how it appears in the exam. The exam screenshot we will look at. So this screenshot, what you're seeing, right now the size is so little, but in the examination, it is going to appear on a 21-22-inch monitor. So this, you imagine it's coming up. This piece is coming up on 21-22-inch monitor. So what is this? What is Retell Lecture? So Retell Lecture is all about listening to a lecture, telling it again, okay, broadly. Now let's go a little bit specific. Retell Lecture is all about listening to a short lecture and retelling it again. One more version. Retell Lecture is all about listening to 1 to 1.5 minute lecture and telling it again within 40 seconds, right? So these are, I think, brought to the crisp version of Retell Lecture, the specific version of Retell Lecture. Let's look at the interface. Here is the exam name and here is your name. This is the question quantity, like on which question are you on. Status. This is instruction. Instruction you don't have to read in the examination. Here is the optional screen that comes in Retell Lecture. Sometimes in this spot, along with the lecture, you get an image. You get a related image, or sometimes instead of giving you an audio lecture, Pearson PT gives you a video also. So this is that spot. Sometimes it is there, sometimes only audio is going to be there. Look at this audio, what is there in the screenshot. Its duration is some 53 seconds time. Generally 1 to 1.5 minutes time is the duration of the lecture that you hear. This is the volume increase decrease option. Matter of fact, in the examination, the default volume is more than sufficient for anyone. Okay, you don't have to really touch it. Okay, so here is the recording process. This is how it looks. When you finish answering it, you have to click the next button immediately. So the structure of Retell Lecture. The structure of Retell Lecture is L1040. L1040. What is L? Lecture, which is in between 1 to 1.5 minutes. After the lecture is finished, you have 10 seconds of preparation time to get ready for answering lecture. 10 seconds of preparation time. And then you have 40 seconds of answering time. This is the structure of Retell Lecture. The lecture can come with a supporting image, or only lecture can come. Sometimes video can also come in the place of lecture, right? And these audios can have some element of background noises, like maybe the vehicle sounds, maybe the wind sounds, maybe babies crying, cookers whistling, people chit-chatting in the background. These are all part of the audio. Okay, across PT you will find such audios. You don't get a studio version audio for Retell Lecture. The biggest challenge in Retell Lecture for majority of the test takers is notes writing, because if you listen to the audio, only listening alone cannot make you answer the question, right? So you will start writing some notes. But in the notes writing process, there are a lot of problems people face. Now I'll give you solutions to those problems. On the examination day, the Pearson PT Test Center provides you with this erasable noteboard. You can see this shiny noteboard, right, which is a laminated piece of paper with checks, right? And along with this erasable noteboard, they'll also provide you a couple of pens. These pens, look at the nib, right? So you will get. So on this notepad, you will write the notes, basically. Now, the problem is everybody starts writing what they hear. In a compulsive fashion, they start writing the stuff, which will not help you. So to write the notes effectively, we should learn the structure of an audio, Retell Lecture audio. Let us learn that. Every Retell Lecture audio has 3 parts: the topic, points, conclusion. Topic, which you can hear basically if you pay attention to any audio. When the audio starts, if you pay attention to the audio, in the first 10 seconds, you will know the topic of the audio. What is it about, you will know. And the last 10 seconds of the audio is conclusion. If you really pay attention towards the end of the audio, the last 10 seconds will be conclusion. In between, there are important points or points. So the model is what? TIC, tick model. T, topic, first 10 seconds. C, conclusion, last 10 seconds. In between, you have certain points that are bridge between topic and conclusion. Therefore, we will also write notes according to the structure of a PTE Retell Lecture audio. What we do on the erasable noteboard, I write down T, 4-inch gap, I, 4-inch gap, and then C after 4-inch space. And see, this is how we should write down T, I, C. If you look at the audio structure is this. It starts with T. There are I. This is I think looks like H now, since I rotated this topic first. Then important points will come. Then it goes to conclusion. So this is so in the first 10 seconds when you are listening to the audio, you know the topic when you pay attention. That topic, 2 3 words you will write down. For example, it is about the green construction methods, or it is about how doctors treat wrinkles on somebody's face. Maybe it is about how the coffee is grown in certain countries, whatever it is. When you know the topic, you write the topic. While you're writing the topic, don't try to listen to anything. One strict rule is either you are listening or you are writing. You should not do both, especially when you are new to read a lecture. So please either listen or write. Do not do two things. Dual tasking is not good. So in the important points, how many important points we need? So you need probably what the AI loves, the PTE AI loves, and the human rater respects is this is the structure the human rater and the PS and PTE software likes. When in your answer, when you retell the lecture, topic should be there. What is it about? It should be conveyed. And from the audio, this between point, you should be able to capture 3 important points: point one, point two, point three, and conclusion. This is a solid content that you will produce in your answer, and that wins the content score, and that helps you get maximum marks in retell lecture. So with others, what happens is they write notes in a very random manner, like very what do you call like this. If you write notes, it's not clear, right? Look at this notes. Maybe this part you see. Is it looking? It's all random stuff, right? Something like if you write, you may have difficulty in reading it. Don't do it. Note should be T I C T 4-inch gap I 4-inch gap C. Okay. You may be worried about the number of pages. The number of pages is not a problem. You have 10 pages in this book, close to 10 pages you have. Now let me demonstrate one sample question.
Cartoonists are like sponges. They soak up people, places, mannerisms, clothing, and behavior. Sometimes they might jot them down in a little black book that they carry around with them. Other times, it is just soaked up into the cartoonist's brain, only to be squeezed out later when she is sitting at her drawing table. Not only does a cartoonist have to be aware of what she is seeing visually, but she has to listen to herself think. In other words, take the incoming information and select it, shape it, and then use it for a cartoon. Now that you have an idea or something you think might be good for a cartoon, it's time to shape it. A cartoon is like a staged play. The cartoonist is playwright, director, stage designer, choreographer, and costume designer. The cartoon has characters, a set, dialogue, even if one line, and a backstory. The characters must be dressed to fit the idea, speak in a way that is natural and forwards the idea or gives the punchline. Nothing should be in the cartoon that is not absolutely necessary for the advancement of the idea. The image and words have to dance together in a way that makes sense. It can be a graceful dance or an awkward dance, if that is part of the humor or idea. And then the execution. Some cartoonists sketch the idea with pencil, then ink it with pen using a light box. Others visualize the image in their head and draw directly on the paper in pen.
The lecture is all about how cartoonists work and how they behave, their modus operandi. So the speaker said they are like sponges. They receive the incoming information, and they selectively take the information and they squeeze out the information, make cartoons whenever necessary. They do it. And she also said that they create cartoons based on the incoming information they receive. She mentioned that it's like a cartooning is like a stage play, and the cartoonist plays many roles. And she said the execution at the end can happen with pen or pencil, and depending on the situation. Now, in this answer, you can see my overall score is superb. We designed this portal, this this AI scoring mechanism to always provide 15-20% lesser marks. Mostly 10-15% lesser marks you get than the real examination. So content, it says what, it's superb. I got, on the scale of 6, I got 4.2 rating. And then in oral fluency, on the scale of 5, I got 4 rating. And on pronunciation, on the scale of 5 points, I got a rating of 4.2, which is decent because I haven't used any template. I organically produced my answer. So let's understand one by one in the real exam how these things work and how to get maximum, right? So content, you get maximum score in content when your answer has topic like this. The lecture is all about how cartoonists work and how they behave. Their modus operandi. Topic is there. Tick. So the speaker said they are like sponges. They receive the information, incoming information, and they selectively take the information and they squeeze out the information, make cartoons whenever necessary to it. And she also said that they create cartoons based on the incoming information they receive. She mentioned that it's like a cartooning is like a stage play, and the cartoonist plays many roles, like many roles. And she said the execution at the end can happen with pen or pencil, and depending on the situation. So it had topic, it has maybe 3 important points, it has conclusion also, right? So all 3 are there. In the real exam, I should get something very close to 6 rating in the real examination. This should be close to 5, or 5, this will be 5 because there's no pronunciation errors as such. Okay. So this kind of rating can help you, right? So you got to get 16 rating, 16-point rating, you got what? 12.4. So where is it going wrong, basically? So one thing you know, that it is giving you 10 to 15% less score. That's something you know, right? But if you wish to improve in a short span of time, you want to improve your Retell lecture in short amount of time, you need to get detailed feedback on your answers. Then you can improve in this task quickly. So our portal is the first portal in the world to give a detailed feedback like a trainer. Okay, look at that feedback. Content feedback, what is it giving? The student effectively captured the main idea that cartoonists absorb information and creatively transform it into cartoon. So it is saying what I said, right? If I had a personal tutor, okay, he would probably, or she would give me such a feedback, right? So you have a virtual tutor with you 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week. The mention of cartoonists playing multiple roles and the execution methods reflects good understanding of the lecture's content. So it says it is appreciating, but it also gives some feedback for improvement because there is always scope for improvement. To improve, the student could provide stronger opening sentence summarizing the lecture and concluding remark to wrap up the response. The conclusion should have been better. That's what it says, which is taken probably for the next question onward. The student can improve. Correct. Now, oral fluency feedback. The response had a generally smooth flow, but some sentences could be better linked for coherence. So this is okay. Coherence, you don't worry about. If you improve it, is better, not a problem. Avoiding repetition. Many roles I said twice. I think this is like faking the fluency. That's what it is thinking. We should not repeat it, right? So that's not a problem. With practice, it happens because I think I'm touching Retell lecture after 15 days or so, right? My last class on Retell lecture was 15 days back. Now I'm doing it. So there's some kind of what you call gap here. But when I practice 2-3 questions more, I get very much comfortable, right? So what it means. So even if you practice Retell lecture so much, if there is a gap of 1 week, 10 days, it's all new, right? Especially if you are a new test taker, because I've been doing PTE training from the last 13 years. If I feel little discomfort with Retell lecture after a gap of 15 days, so you have probably maybe some 1 month, 2 month familiarity with the test. So you may definitely feel a big gap in your answers. Okay, so the suggestion is please maintain the consistency in practice. If you give long gaps, it is not good for you. Okay, coming back to this one. Pronunciation feedback. The clarity of the words was generally good, but some phrases could benefit from clear articulation, especially modus operandi. Modus operandi could have been better, I think. That was not in the audio. This is my word. Practicing stress, intonation, cartoonist, execution will help improve the pronunciation score. If the keywords are stressed, it's going to be massively useful. That's what it says. Imagine you answered a question, you get this feedback, you will either be happy or sad, you will go to the next one. You don't have much clarity, but if you get this kind of feedback, it is excellent. It improves you, in a short span of time, correct? Now let's understand how the notes was written for delivering this answer. So this is my erasable book notes, right? Okay, I'll magnify this. Zoom it. So topic is what cartoonists. It's about cartoonists and they behave like sponges. Their behavior, right? That's some certain things I remember. So I have not written. And then the topic, in the topic is all important points. They save the information and they squeeze it out as and when they need. That's what they said. Yeah. So this is also same point. Sometimes it happens we write same stuff, take in from incoming information, and then create cartoons. So it is slightly different from what is mentioned here, but it was repeated in the lecture, so I was also repeating. Okay, so she even said it was a stage play, and the cartoonist plays many roles. But I think the characters have to be natural and relevant. Okay, this is something I forgot to say. The conclusion was execution, how they actually draw the cartoons. So they use pen, pencil. If they are not very confident, use pencil. If they're confident, they use what? Pen. This is something what she said in the end. So this kind of notes you have, the notes is pretty clear, right? If you have a template or a structure, you can happily use this notes and deliver a good answer. Now I'll explain you how template works. So I'm going to portal, going to material access, speaking and speaking. Okay, read a lecture is here. Saving, I'm sharing it here. This is a, cool notes. Whatever I explained, everything is there in this notes. You can get it from the portal, right? And this one. Okay, now I have to juggle between these two things. The lecture was all about how cartoonists behave and how they actually function, how they actually work. That was the topic, right? I'll show you this one. Yes, the lecture was all about cartoonists. They are like sponges and how they work actually. What is their process of work? Something like that. Yes, done. At first, the speaker talked about what? They save information and they squeeze out the detailing as and when the situation comes. Yes or no? That's what the speaker said, and you can say it. Later, he or she said it was female speaker. Therefore, you say later she discussed what? Let's go to the next one. Discuss that they consume all the incoming information to create the cartoons. That's what she said, right? It's like slightly these two things are same, but it was repeated in the audio I wrote. That's not a problem. And she also spoke that this is the third important point. She also spoke that cartoon is like a staged play, and cartoonist plays many roles. The characters should be natural and relevant to the situation. That's what I could have said, right? Please see. Point number 3. At last, the lecture concluded thoughtfully, highlighting. At last, the lecture concluded thoughtfully, highlighting the execution part, whether certain, by saying certain cartoonists first use pencil and certain use pen to draw the cartoon, something like that. Nothing much. Okay, so it's all about writing the good notes that really makes a huge difference. So some questions, FAQs I'll cover. This is optional, guys. If you are pressed for time, don't listen to all these things. But if you have time, FAQs, frequently asked questions, you spend some time here. So how much time to speak for in Retell lecture? So the ideal amount of time to speak for Retell lecture is 25 seconds to 35 seconds. Anything in this range is absolutely good. So you may be wondering, can I answer in 25 seconds? So if it depends on fluency, it depends on your language proficiency. Some people, cover everything. They cover topic, they cover 3 important points, they cover conclusion in 25 seconds. That's it. That's not a problem. It's a good thing if you're doing it. And if you're delivering in 35 seconds, it is no bad. So somewhere in the range of about 25 to 35 seconds, you have to deliver the answer. The last 5 seconds, you should consider that as a buffer, because sometimes you produce one small extra sentence and the answer is getting extended by 3-4 seconds. You have a buffer of 5 seconds to kind of protect your recording process. So it's better 25 to 35 seconds. How to utilize the preparation time of 10 seconds that comes between the audio and before recording. So matter of fact, you cannot do many things in 10 seconds. My advice is very simple. In the 10 seconds, you get ready with your first point. Let's say the lecture was all about XYZ ABC thing. This is something you should have a solid clarity. You should have that excellent start. You should be ready for that excellent start in this 10 seconds. Don't try to do anything, very much impractical, right? That's my advice. What is the advantage of taking notes in the TIC order like this? What is the primary advantage? I'll give you not only one advice. I'll tell you not only one advantage. I'll tell you 2 advantages. Advantage number 1 is when your information, when your notes is so much clear, what happens is you have ease of catching point by point easily. When you can, during the answering time, if the notes is very much accessible, readable, consumable, it gives you that comfort, right? That comfort translates to what? Good fluency. The notes is like this. It's all clumsy, right? It's all clumsy. And you have difficulty in reading it. Yes or no? When you have difficulty, you are unable to receive the information from notes and you're unable to produce the answer. So the clarity of notes decides the fluency of your answer, number one. Number two, along with fluency, the content will also be better if you write notes like this. Okay, so this is something everybody I strongly recommend you to follow, because using this method, I got 90s. And many of my students, I think 500 plus students of mine have got their 90s. And one of the reasons why they got 90 in speaking and 90 in listening is this. What to do if there is a video instead of audio? If there is a video, you still treat it as an audio only. You don't really pay attention to the video, because the video generally presents one person, somebody, dressed in the formals, trying to say something to you, a professor or somebody you get to see. They don't, run any slides there generally. So it's better if it's a video, you don't look at the video, you treat it as an audio and you keep writing what? Same topic, 3 important points, conclusion. If I get an image in the Retell lecture, supporting image, which conveys all the information, is it good for me? It is good for you. Sometimes what PTE does is majority of the information that is there in the audio, it gives you in the form of an infograph. That means maximum content from the audio or lecture is available on the screen. At that point of time, you can simply, happily make use of that content and give an answer, not a problem. Now the FAQs are over. Let's talk about the positive side effects of Retell lecture. If you get comfortable with Retell lecture, if you are a good operator at Retell lecture, number one benefit you have is you will definitely do really well in summarized spoken text. Summarized spoken text also has similar audio, right? There is a lecture coming. This task is there in listening module. There is a lecture coming. You will write notes in the same fashion. You need topic there. You need important points. You need conclusion. If you get habituated to Retell lecture, that's going to be super easy for you. Then what is the difference between summarized spoken text and this one? In summarized spoken text, the same answer what you give in a spoken format here, you will give that answer in the written format. The lecture was all about XYZ ABC thing. You type it. Here you are orally uttering it, pronouncing it. There you type it. That's the only difference. So if you are working on Retell lecture, it is definitely going to be beneficial for your summarized spoken text, which is part of your listening module. Now I will provide you with preparation plan. For preparation plan, I think I'll come from the beginning for the navigation sake. Go to material access, exam basics. Third file in the exam basics, click it. Right. This is the Retell lecture target I am giving is what? 60. So before you sit the test, you have to practice some 60 questions from Retell lecture. So how you should divide the 60 questions into the daily practice is here. So 60 is target. The target should be divided by number of days to the test. For example, you're taking Pearson PTE exam in next 30 days, right? So your target is 60, your number of days to exam is 30. 60 divided by 30. So the result is what? 2, which means you have to practice 2 questions every day. You will be able to do it perfectly in the examination. After this, there are some sample answers I have done from the portal. You will get to have sample answers demonstration. Going forward, I think there will be 2-3 questions, sample answers are done that you can see. What I'll tell you is simple. Retell lecture, if you learn it today, you cannot get comfortable with this in 1 day or 2 days. Generally speaking, there can be exceptions. I don't deny. But now most of us in our lives had to retell a lecture in 40 seconds time. Correct. And hardly we all have heard a lecture which is 1.5 hours. For us, lectures were 60 minutes at least, 45 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hour. This lecture is completely different. It is just 1.5 minute. When catch the lecture in the form of notes, and then you have to produce maybe with template, without template. So this is something absolutely new. This is not a difficult task. This is a different task. So in my opinion, if you are very new to a Retell lecture, if your communicative skills are decent, you will take a week's time when you practice 2-3 questions every day. After a week, you will see significant improvement in your Retell lecture answer. Okay, so this is the realistic expectation everybody has to carry. And on that note, I'll leave the class. Stay tuned for sample answers. I was not sharing the same.
We know from history that every major industrial disruption has followed the same shape, an exponential curve, with new technologies being adopted very slowly at first, but then a doubling rate kicking in consistently until the overall transformation happens very quickly. in the end. It's a movie we've seen many times before, whether from horses to cars, from valves to transistors, or landlines to mobile phones. And we understand how it works. Initially, the cost of technology is high, but as we learn through volume adoption, the cost goes down and adoption goes up. Best example right now would be electric batteries consistently coming down in cost by 20% a year for the last 10 years. And as the volume of adoption grows, especially with electric vehicle sales growing, we can be confident that the costs of that technology will continue to go down, driving that exponential growth. We set these exponential goals because we believe in the power of human innovation. Engineers love these goals, these stretch targets, is what they live for.
Can I answer this once? The lecture was all about major industrial disruptions, and he said every new innovation takes time to adapt. He even quoted some examples like the adoption from horses to cars, from landline phones to mobile phones. And he even topped the cost of technology initially would be high, but as the time passes, the technology costs come down. He quoted electric batteries as an example to justify this point that these prices are coming down 20% every year. At the end, he concluded stating the mission of the engineers. So I just answered this. Next one you can answer. So please don't think, sir, if it is taking time, it is not working. So it does not give you only score report. I mean, the score part, it will give you analysis. That's why my portal takes time. So normal portals give you result fast, but they'll give you only this much. How much, sir? There is no feedback given by other portals. So this portal does 10x than the other portals. So it will take what, sir? At least 3-4x time than the other portals. All are there. So content score is what, sir? 4.2 on the scale of what? 6. Why? Because topic was there, conclusion was there, and what, sir? Some important points were also part of it. So why not it give me 6? Sir, if it starts giving you 6, the very next day you stop practicing. Yes or no? So I am king of Retell Lecture. Retell Lecture is stupid task. Right? So that's why, sir, it always gives you maybe 1.5 point lesser than the original exam. All our understanding, sir? Give me a thumbs up, sir. It must be, known to everybody, right? Okay. So if this is not enough, what we do, sir, we will go to the remarks of my LLM, my large language model. It acts like PTE. And what it said about your answer. The student effectively mentioned the main ideas from the lecture. When you see this statement, you feel like, okay, I'm doing well. Anybody is coming and teaching you? No, but you're still learning on your own because it is giving you such a powerful feedback, such as the slow adoption of new technologies and examples of historical transitions. What would we say? So it analyzed all your speech and it is giving you what's a proper feedback. Next one, sir. The inclusion of electric batteries as a current example of cost reduction was the strong point that supported the main argument, right? So to improve, the student could add a strong opening sentence summarizing the lecture's main theme, concluding remark. Conclusion was not great because I had to really shorten it, right? So if this kind of feedback you get every time, no matter morning 10 o'clock, early morning 3 o'clock, afternoon 12 o'clock, this feedback is available for you. Is it a powerful thing you have in your hands? Hello, sir. I can say, sir, we are the first portal to have this feature. All up there. I'm not very sure because this is launched 2-3 months back. By now, somebody might have, implemented it. We don't know. But we are the first people to do this AI tutoring sort of thing. All are there, sir? Understanding? So then let's talk about oral fluency. It gave me 4 points on 5 for my flow. Let's look at the feedback. But in the real exam, sir, it should give you almost 5. Okay? For your kind information. Same, 100% same audio I received, sir, when I went to the exam in August. The new PTE exam, what I took, same audio was there. 100% same audio. This was the audio I answered in the real exam also. Right? Okay. What is it? The response had a good flow, but the student could enhance coherence by using words like, first, next, finally. This is something missing in my answer, which I can improve in the next few questions. All there, sir? There were minor pauses that could be smooth with practice, ensuring more seamless. Seamless means what, sir? More fluent delivery. Everybody is understanding the score and justification. Nitish, Pavan, and both other Pavan, Bharat, right? Okay. Anybody is there? Okay. So then the pronunciation feedback is what's at 4.2 on the scale of 5. What it has to say about pronunciation? The clarity of words was generally good. So the pronunciation was clear, it says. But the student should focus on practicing tricky words like disruption. This is something I had to improve, it seems. So maybe what I'll do, I'll practice the pronunciation of the word. What is it? Disruption, disruption, disruption. Next time, I will pronounce it well. Then the other ones are exponential. I should practice it for the next time. Okay. So paying attention to the stress and intonation is better. So it's okay, no problem. Longer sentence. Everybody understood, sir? See, thousands of PTE practice questions. Like essays, we have 101 essays we are writing based on our exam experiences. Look at this, it has grammar. For example, you are lacking in subject-verb agreement. You can go and work on 5 levels of subject-verb agreement exercises. Nobody is lecturing you on grammar. You are simply learning based on the activities. Now, for improving vocabulary, we have vocabulary improvement section and listening spelling section. So if you want to improve the exam familiarity, we have 10 mock tests coming here. Each mock test, when you write, gives you score. It gives you insights where you're doing well, where you're not doing well, all that stuff. And you can even access your answers once you finish the exam. So all the materials, like the latest guides, templates, everything is mentioned here. And the entire course recording is available. Latest class recording is available, including my real exam experiences. So, right, all the basics. Now, this is my real exam experience, the exam that I took on January 26th, January 30, 2026 or something. So everything, it's a complete package. Don't hesitate to buy this. The subscription is starting from just, I think, 1,500 rupees in Indian currency for a week's subscription. So every feature is going to come in the 1 week subscription plan. I'll meet you with the new essay sample question and answer. Stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. If you find value in my channel, please do subscribe.